Hi everyone, and welcome to Real Deal English, helping you use real English to talk about what's going on in the world right now. Brought to you by Open Language.
Hey there everybody, this is Tom.
Hey guys, this is Jason. So today we have Tom of Open Language English and Chinese Pod fame in the studio with us today.
Oh, you're very kind. You're very kind, Jason. Thank you.
No problem. So today we're going to be talking about something that's a really big topic in the United States right now, right?
Yes, very big.
Healthcare.
Healthcare.
All right, so you guys probably know the word health, but what is health care?
What is that exactly?
So we're talking about health insurance.
Okay. Insurance. This is like money that you pay ahead of time to a company, and then that company promises to pay for like big expenses, big purchases, big things you have to buy later on. Is that right, Jason?
Yeah. So with health insurance, of course, you get sick sometimes or you get hurt, but you don't know when you're going to get sick.
Right.
You don't say,
Who knows when they're going to get sick?
Yeah, you don't say, I think tomorrow I'm going to break a bone. No one says that. So, of course, when you get sick, you have to go to the hospital or you have to get medicine, and oftentimes that's very expensive.
Lots of money.
Lots and lots and lots of money. So you pay this insurance so that when you do have these problems, the insurance company helps you pay for them.
That's right.
And so the reason that people have been talking about this right now in the United States is because there's something new and very big that just happened, and that's called Obamacare.
Dun dun dun. Obamacare.
So this is a very controversial topic.
Right, and we're going to talk about that in a second, but first let's just talk a little bit more about how the system in the US works.
So healthcare in the United States is very complicated. I know in a lot of countries, usually it's just one system, right? Everyone pays some money to the government and the government takes care of everyone.
Right. Or there's no government involvement at all. The government doesn't do anything, and you just have to go to the doctor and pay the doctor money, and then the doctor gives you health care.
Yeah, exactly. So a lot of countries are like that as well. But in the United States, it's really complicated, or was really complicated, and is still very complicated.
Maybe even more complicated.
But we'll talk about that in a moment. So Tom, what was healthcare like in the United States before Obamacare?
Well, before Obamacare, most people got their health care three different ways. One, they could get it through their company. Their company would pay for their health care for them.
So you have a job and you get your money every month, and they also give you health care every month.
That's right.
Okay.
Some people would get it through the government. Specifically, this was usually old people or people who didn't have a lot of money. Very poor people would get health care through the government.
Okay, so there were some people that were getting health care through the United States government.
That's right.
Okay.
And then there were some people who didn't have health care through their company, and they couldn't get it through the government, so they had to pay for it themselves.
Okay. And so with the system, most people had health insurance either through the company they worked for or from the government. But of course, there are some people that don't get it from their job. Maybe they only work 20 hours a week.
Right. And then their job says, well, we can't afford to give you the health care because you don't give us enough labor or something like this.
And either that situation, or they're maybe they don't have that much money, but they're not super poor. They're not so poor that the government is going to help them out.
That's right.
Or they're not really old, so the government doesn't help them out.
Right.
And so the big problem before is that there were a lot of people that didn't have health insurance. Either they couldn't afford it, they didn't have enough money for it because it was too expensive, or they just didn't want it.
That's right.
So
they felt like, I don't need that. I'm young and healthy. I don't need that.
Yeah, I'm 21. Everything is okay.
That's right.
Let's go to another party. So that was the big problem before, is that there were all these people that didn't have health insurance. And then Obamacare came. So, Tom, Obamacare is really complicated. It's really complicated for people in the United States, too.
That's right. It's complicated for everybody. Even the people who made the law, even the people who made Obamacare, a lot of them say they don't understand it.
So, but
it's very complicated.
It's very complicated, and I'm sure for you guys, you've probably heard about Obamacare, but what exactly is it? How does this work? So you know how health insurance worked in the United States before, but Tom, more or less, how does Obamacare work?
Okay, so Obamacare makes it so that everyone in the U.S. has to have health insurance.
And so how does Obamacare do that?
The way that Obamacare does it, several different ways, but most importantly, it requires people to buy the health insurance, and then if you don't buy the health insurance, then you have to pay a fine. So people have a reason to go buy the health care.
And one of the big things is that under Obamacare, the United States government created a place where people can buy health insurance.
That's right. They created they call it an exchange.
So an exchange, sort of just like a place where you can buy them.
Right, a place where people can go and buy the health care.
And so as part of this, they made it cheaper for a lot of people.
That's right. They said if we make the exchange big enough, the people who, let's say, like aren't so sick can pay to help pay for the people who are maybe more sick and need more health care.
So in addition to making everyone buy health insurance, it also changed the laws about health insurance a little bit.
The list of benefits gets even longer. It will be illegal to charge you higher premiums or refuse coverage because you get sick or have been in the past. Charging women more than men for the exact same coverage, also illegal. No more deciphering page after page of...
All right, so in that video clip, we heard some of the other things that Obamacare does.
That's right.
And so one of the things that it does is that you don't have higher premiums or you can't be refused coverage if you have a pre-existing condition.
Whoa. Okay, Jason, hold on there. Okay, so what's a premium? What does that mean?
So a premium is extra money that you have to pay every month to be able to use your insurance.
Okay, so this is like the fee you pay to the insurance company so they give you the insurance.
Yeah.
Okay. And what is a pre-existing condition?
So this is a really big thing. So before in the United States, if you already had some medical problem, some health problem, maybe you had a disease, maybe you had a problem with your arm, and you went to a health insurance company and said, hey, I want to buy health insurance. They could say, oh, you already have a health problem, and if I give you health insurance, that's going to cost me a lot. So I'm not going to give you health insurance.
That's right. Or they could say, I'll give you health insurance, but I'm not going to pay for your arm.
Yeah. And
any problems with your arm, I will not pay for it.
So of course that just didn't work because no one chooses to get sick.
Right.
No one chooses to have a problem with their arm. But it happens and you need to have health insurance to help you have an okay life.
That's right.
And so with Obamacare, now health insurance companies can't say no to you. They can't make you pay more or they can't refuse coverage.
Refuse coverage. Okay, refuse means to say that you don't want to do something. And coverage, what is coverage, Jason?
It's health insurance coverage. It's when they cover you, they take care of you. They take care of your health expenses and everything you have to pay for.
Okay. So, and the most important thing about pre-existing conditions is these are things that happened in the past. In the past just means that it happened before right now.
And so finally, one of the other big things with Obamacare is that now you have your parents' insurance until you're age 26.
That's right. So a lot of young people right now in the U.S., they're finding it hard to get a job. The economy isn't very good. So a lot of them live with their parents, and their parents help support them. And before, they couldn't have health insurance through their parents. Or a lot of insurance companies said, we're not going to cover you. We're not going to give you coverage. But now they have to, according to the law.
Yeah. And so I actually turned 26 about a month ago. So until about a month ago...
It's gone, Jason. It's gone.
I had my parents' insurance, but unfortunately, I don't have my parents' health insurance anymore. But it helped. It really helped for a few years. So you guys are listening to Real Deal English, brought to you by Open Language. If you guys are serious about learning English, of course you have to learn about more than just Obamacare and healthcare. You guys actually have to study. And if you go to openlanguage.com or download the Open Language app, we have hundreds of English lessons designed to help you learn real everyday English. And if you use the one-word promo code GREATSTART when you sign up, you can get your first month of premium monthly access for only 99 cents. So everyone is talking about Obamacare, and one of the big reasons is that not everyone likes Obamacare.
That's right. There's lots of people in the United States that don't like Obamacare. And you might think, well, why is that? Because a lot of the things that we've been talking about sound pretty good. Okay, so let's hear what's been happening.
A new report out today, over 1 million Californians are losing their health insurance due to Obamacare. In fact, some are so angry, they're already gone back to Mexico. They're fed up. I've had it.
So this is Jay Leno, and he just made a joke. I don't know if you guys understood it, but Tom, what was the joke that he just made?
Okay, so, I mean, the joke has to do with the state in the U.S. called California. And in California, there are a lot of people who are Mexican, or their parents came from Mexico, or they're... that kind of thing. And a lot of them maybe lost their healthcare insurance and they wanted to go back to Mexico because they think the healthcare in Mexico is better than the U.S. now. And so that's the joke, because everyone thinks that the U.S. has the best healthcare in the world. And why would they want to go back to Mexico?
And so one of the reasons that he made that joke is that, as he said, approximately 1 million Californians are going to lose their health insurance.
That's right. That's a lot of people.
So, Tom, this is a little bit confusing because we just said that everyone has to have health insurance now. So when we say people are losing their health insurance, it's more complicated than that. So, Tom, what is happening when people are losing their health insurance?
Well, what's happened is, as we said before, a lot of people get their health insurance, their health care, through their employer, through their company, their work. And what happened was, because now that there's this government-sponsored exchange, this healthcare exchange, many companies have decided that they can't offer the healthcare insurance anymore.
They don't want to pay for it.
They don't want to pay for it. They tell people that you can get your own healthcare now. We're not going to pay for it anymore. And as a result, a lot of people have lost their healthcare. The healthcare that they like, that they want, that they already had. And so they're very angry about it.
So the whole point is that in the end, they're still going to have health insurance, but they're losing the health insurance they had before.
That's right.
They had health insurance through their company, and now their company is saying, oh, we don't want to pay for it.
That's right.
You guys can buy it on your own. And so now they have to pay for it on their own.
Right. And they say, wow, this is expensive. I don't want to pay for this myself.
This is a big reason why a lot of people don't like it, is because, as Tom said, people already have one type of health insurance with maybe one company, and they like it, and they're comfortable, and everything is fine. And now they're having to change.
That's
and
right.
maybe it's more expensive, or maybe they don't like it. And they say, why do I have to do that? Everything was okay before.
That's right. Some people also feel that the cost of their healthcare is going to become even more expensive in the future. This has been a big problem in the U.S. The healthcare cost keeps going up. And what's a cost, Jason?
A cost is how much money you use to get that thing. So healthcare in the United States is very expensive. It's more expensive than any other country, I think.
The cost is very high, you would say.
One of the big things with Obamacare is that many people are afraid that health insurance is going to become even more expensive.
Let's say you do, unfortunately, obtain the diagnosis of a cancer. The insurance company could pay you $250,000, $300,000, or whatever your insurance pays. You could take that money, and I promise you, there will be cancer centers springing up all over the place that will take your money for less than that to treat your cancer. Not only that, but there'll be others that will spring up to compete against them. And that will raise the quality and lower the cost. As opposed to when government controls things, costs always go up and quality always goes down. All we need is the courage to stand and say, no thank you, Obama, but we'll take care of ourselves. There are other physicians just like me who feel this.
Okay, so this doctor was just talking about what would happen if you got cancer.
So cancer, of course, is that really, 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 really bad sickness.
That's right, very bad sickness.
That people everywhere in the world get. I'm sure you guys have heard of it before. And so he says, what happens if you obtain the diagnosis of cancer?
Right, so obtain means to get. So if you get the diagnosis, a diagnosis is when a doctor tells you what's wrong with you. So if the doctor tells you what's wrong with you is cancer, what do you do?
And so what he's saying is that if an insurance company gives you all of this money, $250,000, $300,000, that they normally have to give to a hospital to pay for your treatment to help you get better, if they just gave that money to you, then cancer centers would spring up everywhere.
What's spring up, Jason?
So spring up means they just start opening everywhere. So places that can help you treat cancer, get better with cancer. If you have $300,000 and say, hey, I have cancer, who can help me? People would say, oh, I can help you, I can help you. And lots of places to help you get better would open up everywhere.
That's right. And then at the very end, he talks about this idea of cost versus quality. And we talked about cost before, right? We know that's how much you pay to get something, the amount of money. But what is quality, Jason?
Quality is how good something is.
Okay.
So maybe you're paying a lot of money for something, but it doesn't mean it's good.
Okay. Right. It's of low quality. Okay.
So a lot of people say in the United States, and a lot of people think in the United States, that when the government controls things, the cost goes up and the quality goes down.
Right. So you end up paying more for something that's not as good. Okay, so that's one of the big objections to Obamacare that a lot of people have.
And so one of the other reasons that people don't like Obamacare is that they think it's not enough. Some people disagree with this doctor. They say, no, we should not give the money to the people, but instead, the government should control all of it.
Right, the government should control all of it, not have these big healthcare insurance companies, just have the government take care of it.
And so I know in countries like England and Canada, this is how they have health insurance, where everyone is in the same system, everyone pays the same amount of money, and everyone is taken care of.
That's right.
And I know President Obama tried to do this, but there are too many people saying, yes, no, yes, no, and that slowly he had to do less and less and less and make Obamacare less and less.
Less and less strong for the government.
So these are the reasons that people don't like it, but of course there's a lot of people that also like it, and that's why people are fighting so much right now about Obamacare. And so one of the big reasons that people like Obamacare is that there are a lot of people that could not afford healthcare before that can afford it now.
A lot of people don't have money to spend on this.
Well, thanks to the Affordable Care Act, young people can stay on their parents' insurance until they're 26. But once they hit 26, they're on their own. And a lot of young people think they're invincible. But the truth is, young people are knuckleheads, you know? They're the ones who are cooking for the first time and slice their finger open. They're dancing on the bar stool. They're
young people.
Young people.
I would never do both of those things this past summer.
Okay, so this was the First Lady of the United States. This is the President's wife,
Michelle Obama.
And she was saying that a lot of young people are now out on their own. And they think that they're invincible, but really they're just a bunch of knuckleheads. Okay, so let's figure out what this means. On your own. What does on your own mean?
That means you're taking care of yourself.
Okay.
You don't have your parents taking care of you. You're not in school anymore. You're just in the world, taking care of yourself, working, finding your own food, your own house.
You live in your own house. You have your own job. You don't see your parents very much. You're on your own.
And that a lot of young people think they're invincible.
Invincible. What does this word mean, Jason?
So invincible means you can't get hurt. Nothing can happen to you. I'm young and beautiful and everything is fine and I'm not going to get hurt. I'm not going to get sick. But of course, young people can get sick.
Right.
Young people can get hurt. And she says that young people are knuckleheads.
A knucklehead?
Tom, what's a knucklehead?
Okay, so a knucklehead is someone who's just kind of silly. They're kind of dumb. They're not stupid. It's just like they think that they can do whatever they want and they don't really think about the consequences.
They make some sort of
mistakes.
Bad decisions.
Yeah.
So she made an example of cooking food for the first time and you cut your finger really badly.
That's right.
And you have to go to the hospital.
Right.
And so in that situation, before, young people, if they did not have health insurance and had to go to the hospital, they would have to pay a lot of money.
That's right.
But now they have to have health insurance. So if they do hurt themselves, they will have health insurance.
Right, and they don't have to pay much money at all to go to the hospital.
And then, of course, one of the other really big things that we mentioned before was pre-existing conditions. And that was a big problem for a lot of people in the United States.
Right, but now if you have a pre-existing condition, then you can get health care.
All right, so these are the basic ideas. And there's a lot of people who really like Obamacare and a lot of people who really don't like Obamacare.
That's right.
And so Obamacare started in November of last year, I think.
Right.
You could start signing up. And what happened was a lot of states in the United States decided to not do Obamacare.
That's right. There's some states, they said, we don't like this Obamacare, so we're not going to be part of Obamacare.
So it's not even the entire country. It's not even all of the United States. Only, I think, about maybe half of the states.
Very complicated.
Yeah, very complicated again. But in California, where I'm from, we do have Obamacare.
Okay.
Tom, where are you from?
I'm from Virginia.
And what about in Virginia? Do they have it?
I think so, yes. I don't know. I don't have Obamacare. So
okay. So Obamacare started and people had to sign up before March 31st. But when it started, there was a website to sign up and the website didn't work.
It just didn't work. People tried to enter in their information and get the health care and they couldn't do it.
And people were really, really angry. They're saying, we want to have health insurance, but you guys can't make a website that works well.
That's right. And Obama had to apologize and say he was sorry because a lot of people couldn't get the health care.
And so a lot of people are thinking that because this didn't work very well at the beginning, that it might influence the elections that are coming up in the United States, and that people will be voted for and people will gain power in the United States that will try and change this law.
Right. They don't like Obamacare. They want to get rid of it.
But the deadline, the very end for signing up for Obamacare came, which was March 31st, and over 8 million people were able to sign up. So that means that there were 8 million people, most of which probably didn't have health insurance before, now have health insurance for the very first time.
That's right.
And I think that's a big deal. There's 8 million people that when they're knuckleheads dancing on a chair at a bar or a club and they fall off and hit their head, they can go to the hospital now and get taken care of.
That's right. Yeah, I think it has had a positive effect for some people. I think we kind of have to wait and see how it will go for other people, because I think a lot of people have to get used to the new system, and some people, I think it can be better for them. I think in the long run, in the long time, for a long time after this, if we continue to have Obamacare, maybe it will work pretty well.
It's still really hard to say, though. It's changing a lot of things for a lot of people, and a lot of people are unhappy. And, I think it would have been really nice if the United States had a system like England or Canada, where everyone had the same system and everyone paid the same amount and it was simple. But unfortunately, things in the United States are not very simple.
That's true.
And so this is not a perfect fix, but I think my personal opinion is that at least it's something. At least it's some change. And hopefully in the long run, like Tom said, in the long run, in the long time, in 5 years, 10 years, it will be a good change. But we have to wait and see.
We do have to wait and see.
All right, so there you go, guys. This is this very complicated topic, Obamacare, health insurance, healthcare in the United States. But we hope that you guys are now able to understand it a little bit more. So if you guys like this episode, make sure to send it to your friends and family so they too can understand what the deal is with Obamacare.
Thanks, guys.
See ya.